home is your castle. No matter how big or small it may be, you're the king/queen of that castle. You are the ruler of your kingdom. You rule alone or with your mate if you have one. If you have a roommate, then you're the ruler of the section you occupy. To maintain that kingdom requires work. Every month, you are faced with a battle by an army that wants to take you down, called bills. Bills are one of the strongest armies your kingdom will ever face. Each month, like clockwork, they come to attack your castle. One thing about bills, they don't care if you're prepared, they don't care about your excuses, and they certainly won't give you a pass for being a good person. Some battles you face can come unexpectedly, like your car breaking down, your air conditioner going out when the weather is hot, or a busted pipe that you may have to repair. Bills are the complete opposite. Oh, they don't sneak up on you. They tell you when they're coming and what the outcome will be if you lose the war to them. Every day you prepare for that battle by going to a job, working a business, or doing things that are illegal, which I would not recommend. The reason we do this is to recruit our soldiers to fight on our behalf. Our soldiers are called currency. They can come in the form of dollars, nairas, pounds, yens, francs, pesos, rands, and many other forms. The greatest thing about our soldiers is they can speak every language. They have the ability to travel to each and every country on all continents to fight on our behalf with just a push of a button. The most important thing they do is fight the army called bills to protect your kingdom. Depending on how much your monthly bills are, will determine how many soldiers are needed for the battle that month. As a king/queen standing in your Shango energy, you are the ruler of your army. Wherever you tell your soldiers to go, they'll go without questioning your authority. The army of bills will attack your castle from every angle, which means you'll have to divide your soldiers into groups. One group will fight for the mortgage/rent. One group will fight for the electricity. One group will fight for the water to stay on. One group will fight for food. So depending on how many bills you have will determine how many groups of soldiers are needed. After the battle was completed for the month, if there's any soldiers left over, they're called backup soldiers. Backup soldiers usually stay in your pockets, bank/savings account, or even your safe. They usually will remain there until you need them. Notice I said usually. With the amount of value these soldiers have, some people will usually try to get them up off you in a form of theft or scams. They don't have the ability to choose their battles. They do whatever they're told. They don't fight for good or bad. They fight for whoever their ruler is at that moment in time. Some missions are assets and some missions are liabilities. But as a ruler standing in your Shango energy, you have the power to decide which direction you want to send your soldiers. If you send them on a mission of liabilities, you will gain many things of low value to no value, only to lose many soldiers in the battlefield. If you send them on a mission of assets, you'll accumulate things that will recreate more soldiers. To make it more plain, we'll refer to liabilities as spending and assets as investing. Spending is when you lose soldiers on the battlefield in exchange for temporary pleasure or the accumulation of things that have low to no value. Investing is when you send your soldiers on the battlefield in exchange for things of high value that will accumulate more soldiers in the future. Another battle you'll face is communication. This one is very important. This can determine whether the kingdom stands or falls. You may have one mate or several mates if you practice polygamy. You're not always going to see eye to eye with your mate or mates. There will be times where you'll have to come to an agreement and your decision may not be what's best for the kingdom. As a ruler in your Shango energy, it is very important to know when to make the right decisions for the kingdom, even if it goes against what you want. Finances will affect your relationship for better or worse, so it is important to cooperate with your co-ruler to make smart decisions. Not only do wrong decisions destroy relationships, but it can also result in the fall of the kingdom. If you're single, then the battle you'll face will be with yourself. You'll have no one to hold you accountable, so you'll have to learn to hold yourself accountable. It's easy to tell others no, but most of us have a hard time saying no to ourselves. So let's say you're behind on your bills, but all of a sudden, you are blessed with some unexpected money. You now have enough money to get caught up on your bills, but out of nowhere, your friends booked a 7-day luxury cruise and invited you to come, and you have just enough to go. You're now standing in the middle of SU's crossroads, faced with a decision to make. But we'll get more into SU later on in the book. You're now faced with a decision. Do you go on the cruise, or do you get caught up on your bills? If you decide to go on that cruise, you may have the greatest time ever, but those 7 days will come to an end and you'll have to come back home and face that army called bills. Now let's say you decided to decline the cruise and get caught up on your bills. You'll secure your kingdom, but you'll feel down by the fact that you couldn't go. After 7 days are up, you'll have to hear about all the fun that everyone else had. Those are two different battles, and Shango is known for picking his battles wisely. If you say no to your bills and go on that cruise, the army of bills will become stronger in their attempt to tear down the walls of your castle. If you were to say no to the cruise, your kingdom will become stronger, but now you'll have to deal with the temporary feeling of depression, of not being able to go and feeling left out. As a ruler in your Shango energy, you'll have to know which battles to say yes and no to. Another battle you'll face are children. Having children will make the army of bills become stronger, but you'll become a stronger person. Taking care of the needs of your children will force you out of your comfort zone. As we watch these little versions of ourselves grow, we'll become forced with a decision to make. Are we their friends or are we their parents? If we decide to become friends with our children, the battles become even stronger as they reach higher levels of consciousness. You'll lose their respect and they'll lose the guidance that they should have gained from you. As they become adults, they'll resent you for not being the parent you should have been to them. If we decide to be parents to our children, the battle starts off strong, but as they reach higher levels of consciousness, the relationships get better. You'll have their respect and they'll have your leadership. As they start to grow, you no longer seem cool to them. As they become teenagers, they will not want to include you in their activities. As they become adults and more conscious in the ways of the world, they begin to appreciate all the values you instilled in them. They will be thankful that you were their parent and not their friend. As a ruler in your Shango energy, your leadership will have an impact on the results of your offspring. For those that do not have children, you're also faced with a battle. Your parents may be wanting grandchildren, or your significant other may be wanting to become a parent. You always hear the question, when are you having children? That holds the same weight of being asked, when are you getting married? Those are usually two questions that are always brought up during a family event in front of everyone. Another battle that comes from this can be sibling rivalry. Sometimes sibling rivalry can make it seem as if your problems don't compare to theirs because you don't have children and they do. The battle doesn't increase the army of bills, but it comes with the battle of dealing with criticism. These are some of the battles you may face being a king/queen standing in your Shango energy. It's up to you to decide what type of ruler you are and what decisions you'll make when running your kingdom. The decisions you make and the battles you choose will determine the fate of your kingdom.